Okay, so here we're continuing our discussion of AUC 315 related to risk assessment procedures and related activities. Yesterday we talked about, or in the last video, we talked about inquiries of management and assessing the risk of material misstatement as a procedure to do. In this video, we'll talk about analytical procedures. So we see here that the risk assessment procedures should include analytical procedures. And we'll get some more detailed information down in the explanatory materials section A14 through A17. So let's go down there. Okay, so now we're down to the explanatory material for what we'll talk about analytical procedures and the risk assessment process. So see here first that analytical procedures performed as a risk assessment procedure. They might identify aspects of the entity which we were unaware, or it may assist us in assessing the risk of material misstatement in order to provide a basis for designing and implementing responses to those assessed risks. And these analytical procedures could include both financial and non-financial information. For instance, we might look at the relationship between sales and square footage of selling space or volume of goods sold, etc., where we might see some kind of disconnect between the financial measure and the non-financial measure. The analytical procedures might also enhance our understanding of the client's business and the significant transactions and events that have occurred since the prior audit. And they might also help us to identify the existence of unusual transactions or events, amounts, ratios, trends, and other matters that have audit implications. And so unusual or unexpected relationships that are identified may assist us in identifying risk of material misstatement, especially risk of material misstatement due to fraud. And they touched upon one of the really important pieces of performing these analytical procedures. It gives us an understanding of the client's business, and also the accounts, and gives us an indication of how we might need to test certain items and also what areas are material. And it gives us the ability to plan our audit effectively. For example, we might see that maybe the buildings account has significantly increased since last year. And once we talk to management about it, they might tell us that they ended up buying or constructing a factory or something like that. So we would know that we would need to test the costs that go into the capitalization of that factory. And so we would be prepared to have an engagement team that is competent and qualified to test in that area, and also budget that into our time that we would need to perform those procedures. So next, they caution us that when these analytical procedures are performed at the very aggregated high level, and that's typically the case when we're performing these risk assessment analytical procedures, then we might be cautioned because these procedures provide only a broad initial indication about whether a material misstatement may exist. So in such cases, consideration of other information that has been gathered when identifying the risk of material misstatement together with the results of these analytical procedures may assist us in understanding and evaluating the results of the analytical procedures. So typically when we're doing the analytical procedures as part of the risk assessment process, we're looking at very summarized data. This isn't detailed down to month by month data, or sometimes we're not even looking at individual accounts, but more looking at account groups, like maybe total accounts receivable. But in doing so, we would usually be able to identify if anything is unusual. For instance, maybe there is no accounts payable this year, which would lead us to believe that maybe the client didn't record all of the invoices, all the vendor invoices that have come in, or something like that. Or maybe we would learn through some off chance the timing of the accounts payable produced a zero balance at year end. So there's a lot of things that can be helpful from a high level analytical review, but we also need to understand that we're not going to be able to know all of the details of things just by looking at the high level summarized data.